You've heard of a virtual assistant, but have you heard of a business operations partner? Because if you're a CEO or a business owner and you're handling everything yourself, your inbox, your system, your team coordination, and your project, I need you to watch this video. Welcome back to the Art of Virtual Assisting with me, Stephanie Lopepe, your host and the founder of Virtually Steph. I would encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please follow this channel. All right. So by the end of this video, you would understand the difference between a virtual assistant and a business operating partner. And then you get to decide whether you need either one of them. Because as a CEO and a business owner, you are wasting time handling everything yourself instead of delegating. All right. So what is the difference between a VA and a business operations partner? Traditionally, a VA is a task doer, right? You get a to-do list and you complete that to-do list, right? From scheduling to emails to data entry to research. So all the basic admin tasks, that is what a virtual assistant does. However, a business operating or a business operations partner manages outcomes, right? So they don't wait for a to-do list, right? They already know what is the vision that the business owner wants to achieve, and they manage the teams to get that outcome achieved, right? So you move from being an executor to being a strategic business partner. That is the difference between them two. And the second thing is that I just became a business operating or a business operations partner last year, right? So I'm 2 years in, and I want to tell you the things that I get to do. The first thing that I get to do for my clients is systems and process design, right? So a lot of the times, clients are already established. They already got their business running. They are making money. They're making profit. However, in order for them to scale to another level, they need systems. They need process, right? And because the client used to do everything themselves, everything is in your mind. Everything is in your head. So you need somebody to put things down on paper, right? And that's what a business operations partner does. We get to design systems and processes for you. And for my client, I got to do that through SOPs, right? So standard operating procedures, right? What is that? It's just a document that shows the process of how a specific task or a department is run, right? So from your customer support to your marketing department to your sales team, etc., right? All the various active departments in your business need a SOP. So that's what me as a business operations partner got to do for the client. Another thing that I get to do as a business operations partner, I get to project manage, right? So a lot of the times, a project management is not necessary like a big thing, right? It could be there's a specific goal we want to achieve, a specific project we want to do. How do we make sure that every single person is playing their role, right? That is project management. And with them, we get to allocate deadlines, we get to allocate timelines for each different teams, and we also get to have team accountability, right? So it's no point to have a goal that you want to accomplish, but you don't know who's responsible for what. You don't know when the time frame of something that needs to be achieved. You don't even know the various deadlines that you gave each separate department. So project management gets to you to do that, right? So I would encourage you to really look into business operations support. Another thing that we get to do, I get to do operations oversight, right? I got to realize that a lot of the time as an operations partner, right, you don't necessarily get to do everything yourself, right? You are technically making sure that everybody else in the team is executing their work, right? So that is an oversight. So you make sure that nothing falls through the crack. You make sure that a task that was assigned is being completed in a timely manner. And if support is needed, you provide that support, right? So it's quite an intensive, more management work than it is more task based, right? And another thing is that I get to provide CEO support at a strategic level, right? I got to move from like a regular VA, you are doing calendar management, right? But as a business operations partner, you are doing capacity management, right? Because my clients, they have a lot going on. So I get to look at the calendar, I get to look at our project, I get to look at a task and all these deadlines and be like, you know what, we have to slow down here. So on this specific day, we can't do X and Y because we have a deadline to meet. On a specific day, we have the accountant to speak to. We have the head of departments meeting to speak to. So you are not necessarily managing a calendar, you are managing the capacity for the business owner, right? So the third thing I want to talk about is the cost of not having an operations business partner, right? So the first cost is that business owners don't realize that they are the bottleneck of their business. Because when you started, you were doing everything. But when you want to scale, you need to have team members take over, right? And when you don't have a operations partner, right, you become the bottleneck because the business only grows to the capacity you have, right? So that becomes an issue. So if you are the bottleneck, I would encourage you to start delegating and start bringing other experts in your business so that you can focus on growing other aspects of your business, right? Are you an established business owner trying to optimize productivity, enhance efficiency, and free up valuable time for strategic priorities? I'm Stephanie, your virtual assistant solution. And I bring over 10 years experience in business management, operation support, and event coordinating. And I would love the opportunity to earn your business. Click the link below and book your discovery call today. The cost of not having a business operations partner is that you don't get to scale at the rate you want to scale. Why? Because you don't have the capacity to do so. So I would encourage you to look into business operations partnership, right? It will really make a difference in how you efficiently run your business. Okay, and then the last thing we want to talk about is what to look for when hiring an operations partner, right? So, because you don't know whether somebody is a culture fit for your business, right? What I would encourage you is to maybe look for the results, right? So each business operations partner have their own strength and we all have different results we are bringing to our clients, right? So you need to look, okay, if my goal is to have somebody who at least have an oversight on what the various departments are doing, when you are looking for that strategic business partner, that is what you need to look for in their portfolio, right? You can see in someone's portfolio, it's like, okay, if you have managed a team of 20 colleagues, yes, you will have the capacity to help my team stay accountable, meet deadlines, etc., right? If maybe you are looking for documentation, SOPs, systems, etc., what you are looking for is someone who helped a whole entire business have all their departments documented, right? They actually can prove that, right? So you need to look, if this is the outcome I want, can this specific service provider provide that outcome, right? So you are looking for someone who is solution driven, somebody who can protect your time, somebody who's a team player, because a lot of the times we'll bring all these experts, but these experts, they don't know how to mingle with other people. So you just need to look at that and make sure that it's a culture fit, and give all these various experts a chance, right? We all don't know until we start working, right? So give somebody 3 months and see if it works out. And if it does, give them a long-term contract. All right. It is now time for our virtual assistant insight segment. And today's question is, how do I position myself as a business operations partner instead of just a virtual assistant? That is such an incredible question, because how do you actually move from being just a VA to a business operations partner? The move comes with you upscaling, right? So how do you position yourself? You need to have more skills than just being a task doer. Right? A business operations partner is solution driven, right? They are doing a lot of systems, documents. They're technically the manager after the CEO, right? So you need to make sure those are the skills that you embody. And for me, I already knew that the foundation of my business was administration. I did it for 7 years before becoming a virtual assistant. So I already had the skill, right? And how I got to upskill is that I had to have the ability to document processes, right? So if I know this is how a task is supposed to be done, I needed to translate that onto paper, right? I needed to have the ability to help a client come up with strategy, right? Come up with strategy, help a client upscale, right? Upscale their business, right? So if you know that that's already your skill, that is already something that you are good at, you need to be able to position yourself into that. So the content you are putting out needs to scream that you are a business operations partner, right? The testimonials that you are sharing, the various takes that you have. Maybe, sometimes maybe there's a big business news that is in your industry. You need to be able to articulate that and be like, this is how you can implement this as a business owner, right? So if you don't know how to showcase and show us your level of expertise and the outcome that you are bringing to your current clients, then that's an issue. We position ourselves well by showing people the transformation that we are bringing to our current clients. All right. So that is all for today. Please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, any topics you want us to discuss more, please leave it in the comments. Until next time, bye.